Pull up in motorcades.
I hope you're doing good. So it's been 4 days since I've posted a video here on YouTube, and for me that's a long time. Okay, so you know, in order to make up for the time that I left you alone, okay, I have to drop some crazy value. Okay, so today actually let me talk about why I've been busy, right? How come I haven't put out a piece of content in a week, right? We've recently launched in the last 2 weeks this TikTok offer, okay? So we're helping agencies who've been struggling with scaling their current offer. So a lot of them are, you know, Facebook ad agency owners, or they might be doing like things like email marketing, or they might be doing like things like CRO, right? And they've had an issue with like the speed of scaling, right? They haven't been, I mean, they can still get customers, but they're not getting it at the rate that we want. We want them to be having results, right? So we've helped them introduce a new offer, which is TikTok ads as well as UGC. We've built their client acquisition systems. We're helping them also take care of fulfillment. Customers are, you know, seeing amazing results, right? I can even throw in some screenshots of like some people booking meetings right here, all around me, okay? But yeah, this is an amazing opportunity for someone who's looking to scale really fast. TikTok is really trendy. Brands are looking for agencies who can you know, be really good at media buying on TikTok, but even better at getting them amazing user generated content at scale so that they can be used for advertising on TikTok. Okay, so if you can get your hands on influencers, if you can, you know, do the debriefing, if you can do the storyboarding, everything like that, if you can do it, I can guarantee you a 50K to 100K a month business in less than 3 months. Okay, and that's proven, right? If you guys saw Amar's interview, he did 60K in less than 7 weeks, right? But yeah, so I was busy trying to, you know, operationally, I had to think about new stuff. I had to get more white label partners in. I had to, you know, we had to automate a lot of stuff. We had to find more insights around TikTok and how to make it really work. So that's why I've been busy, okay? But I'm happy with the results our customers are seeing. Beautiful stuff. So yeah, it's an amazing thing, right? So the content that I wanted to share today is actually probably the most important thing that I've learned when it comes to actually what it takes to succeed, okay? And it's this concept around you need to become the person who deserves the success that you're looking for before you actually get the success that you're looking for. I can talk to you about this TikTok offer. The only people who will actually see success with it are people who are already deserving of the success that TikTok can bring them. Anyone who's not deserving of this success will not even make the decision to jump on this offer or to even launch it on their own. Why? Because you're not just a person who's supposed to like handle all this success. This has nothing to do with TikTok, but all I'm trying to say is that in order for you to get to the level that you want to be at, maybe it's making 10K a month, maybe you're just starting out, maybe it's making 25K a month, maybe it's making $50,000 in a single week, right? It's not about the tactics. The tactics, you can buy it from anyone, right? But it's all about the person who deserves it. Because for me, let's say in my case, if I was to go broke today, it wouldn't take me long before I start making $10,000 a day. Why? Because I'm already someone who understands what it takes to actually make it, and my standards are like, hey, I need a few 10K days every single week, right? Because that's who I've become. 2 years ago, I was making $2,000 a month, and I was the happiest man on earth, right? But now, if we do less than 6 figures a month, I'll be like, whoa, like what's going on here, you know? Anyway, all I'm trying to say is that this video, I spent 2 hours with 100 people on a Zoom call, walking them through the presentation that I built on how, you know, on what I think is the process around how to become the person who actually makes it inevitable for you not to see the success. So please take the time to watch this, you know, get your popcorn, get some chips, get maybe, I don't know, get wine. I don't know if you drink, get some juice. If you don't drink, get water. If you're thirsty and you don't drink alcohol, and enjoy. I'd rather, you know, watch this over the weekend, enjoy, just sit back, watch it in the morning or maybe before going to bed. Instead of watching Batman, I think you can watch this and it can probably change your life. Personally has changed mine. So yeah, hopefully you'll find it helpful. If you want to work with clientacquisition.io, the link in bio. I want to help so many people this year. I want to literally change people's lives. I want to go to Italy, and then I have customers. I want to go to the UK, and then I have a bunch of customers. I want to go to India, and then I have a bunch of customers. I want to go to Rwanda. I want to have customers there. I want to go to South Africa and have customers there. I want to go to the States. I want to go to Miami. I'm going to Tulum tomorrow morning, right? So, but I already have customers in Mexico, guys. Like, this is what success is. It's about creating something that's so big that everywhere you go, people know you. Not because you're famous and you maybe have good looking abs, but because you've actually changed their lives, okay? So the reason why I'm taking my time, sacrificing my life to share this video with you is because I want to impact your life, okay? I'd rather be doing it than, go outside, go buy a Mercedes or go buy a Porsche, right? I'd rather help you, and maybe instead of me just being able to drive a Porsche, how about we have 10 Porsches on the road, because it's boring driving a Porsche alone, So let's get this summer. This summer is ours. Please, we have how many months? April, May, June, 3 months. You have 1 quarter to hit your dreams. Can you do it? Enjoy. Bye-bye. Reg, let's go. I like that. How come did I decide to do this challenge? I'll actually be explaining it within today's content. I decided to do this challenge because I've realized that, and I was listening to this guy called Naval. I'm not sure if you guys know him, right? He's an angel investor. He's a guy who's, he's just an investor. He's a pretty smart guy. And he was talking about something that really, really changed my perspective, right? And it was that, Reg, someone pinned you. Can you put me back or I'm not sure.
You're unpinned.
What are you guys seeing?
I put you on spotlight.
Okay, cool. 1 second. Let me see. Let's see 1 second. Okay, cool. So I was listening to this guy, and he said something that I found really funny, and he was that, why would you charge for information? Yeah, Naval Ravikant. He was like, it's stupid, because if you charge people for the things that then that means that less people actually know what you know. And in order for you guys to become customers of mine, you have to have the same beliefs as me. So me actually keeping everything for customers and only charging, a lot of money for the stuff that we sell is actually stupid, because it actually keeps people from knowing what we know. And if less people know what we know, that means that they're not using the systems that we've built, right? So if you look at the biggest companies, Facebook, Twitter, all these companies, Amazon, all this stuff, like, they're not keeping things to themselves. They're not asking you to opt in or to pay for something before you get to see what value they have to deliver. And that's what ends up creating like a network effect, right? So when you see people charging for the stuff that they're, of course, I'm not necessarily going to be giving away everything in here, because then that would not necessarily be it. But my goal is to give as much as I can away so that you guys can actually be self-sufficient from just accessing the free insights. Okay. But, and I think that just having the information that I'm going to cover today is going to be really helpful for you guys. Okay. Iman got a birthday watch. What the hell? I'm not sure who's Iman Gadzi. Jesus. Okay, guys, I'll just go ahead and just share my screen because it's just distracting. Some of you guys are just wilding out, but okay, let's get into it. So today my goal is to essentially go over, what it takes to become a 500K earner a year. Okay. And most of you guys, let me actually hide this video panel. No, 1 second. Let's see. Yeah, let me actually just hide the pen meetings. Okay, cool. So what I want to share in this today's training is what it takes to actually to be able to make at least 500K a year to over 7 figures. Okay. And I read this quote in a book actually recommended by Naval. It's called The Beginning of Infinity. If you guys can go read it, I recommend to go ahead and read it. It will literally, it's a bit hard to read because it's not really about anything about business. It's about science and,
explanations. Essentially, like, how do we actually create knowledge? And that's this type of stuff that fascinates me, because what I keep seeing with this business space, especially in this online space, is just people who are just bragging about their stuff instead of talking about the actual things that make it unreasonable for them not to succeed. So I try to go and find the truth instead of relying on who has the most amount of Lambos, who has the best lifestyle, because that's not necessarily a true like indicator of success. Okay. So, and it says that everything that is not forbidden by laws of nature is achievable given the right knowledge, right? And to me personally, once I read this, I was like, okay, then it all makes sense. Then nothing can actually keep me from not succeeding, unless the only thing that would keep me from not succeeding is not having the right knowledge. Okay. I know everyone will want me to go over, offers, outreach messages, the channels, the sales process that I use and that our customers use to scale past 50K per month. But since I'm the one creating this whole thing, I get to decide what comes first and not you. Okay. So let's get into it. Who do you need to become? The reason you're not already living the life you want or running the successful business you wish to be running is because you're not the person who deserves those things, right? My goal with this first part of the training is to get you to build a character who deserves everything you've dreamed of, the character that effortlessly gets what you want, right? Because right now you can probably imagine your wildest dreams, and there is someone out there who gets your wildest dreams before they even drink coffee in the morning, right? And to me personally, I've always asked myself, like, why is that? Why is it that people are struggling to buy cigarettes while others are spending like, like 100 grand to charter a jet, like every day? And those disparities always really fascinated me. And that's why I personally think that that's why I became an entrepreneur, because I feel like entrepreneurship is the best path to being able to become like, I forgot what it's called, but what's the book called? To become essentially like an alchemist, right? To be able to change matters and to really create stuff that you want, right? So why is it so important to become before you achieve? Because there is the law of cause and effect, right? Which states that for every effect, there is a definite cause. Likewise, for every cause, there is a definite effect. So your new character, or the character that you need to become, is the cause that creates the effect, right? Most people will tell you like, oh yeah, go on this channel and do outreach, or here's the offer. But the truth is, unless you become the person first who is able to sustain the actual like stuff that you need to do, then it will always literally be impossible for you to be able to create the effect, which is the consequences, and which is technically the outcome that you want, right? So if you want to be making 50K a month, instead of trying to be like, oh, I need a sales team, I need a good offer, I need this and that. No, first ask yourself, who is the person that you need to be, right? The person that I am today is not the person that I was in January last year. And the person I was in January last year isn't the person I was in January 2020. Every time I've evolved into someone else, and that someone else made it unreasonable for me not to see the outcomes that I've been able to achieve. Okay. So one of the things that I'll ask you guys to do is to spend 30 minutes or an hour literally describing the following. Describe the life and the business that you want to build, right? Don't hold anything back, right? How much money do you want to be making revenue wise? How much money do you want to be taking home profit, right? How big is your team? Do you even want a team, right? Who do you want to be helping? What niche? What service do you want to be offering, right? How long do you want to be doing it for? Is it something that you want to do for 10 years and then retire? Or are you just wanting to have a lifestyle business where you're making just a few multiple 5 figures a month and just chilling, right? Get clear on it. And we have some worksheets within the program where we go over designing your dream life, right? And some of the questions are, what is your dream? What do you want? Make this as detailed as possible, right? Define your dream and then declare your dream to those who care, right? If you have, a wife, a husband, a partner, share the vision with them, right? Human beings will do more to not look bad in front of other people than they will to improve themselves. Okay. And we'll actually talk about why this is in this training today. Decide what you're going to do, what is your business product, and who are going to help with that. Okay. And then what I want you to do is I want you to design the character that deserves the success, or the life and the business that you want to build, right? What are his and hers, or what are your beliefs, right? What beliefs should you have? Should you have a belief that it's impossible to make 50K per month? Or should you believe that making 50K per month is actually, it's like making pennies, right? What are your habits, right? Are you, sleeping at 3, 5 a.m. every day and waking up, when you want to, right? Or are you disciplined? Are you making sure that you're taking care of yourself? Are you making sure that you're eating, properly? Are you getting enough sleep? Are you working out? Are you, making sure that, you have good relationships, right? What are his or her values, right? What's the most important thing? Is capital the most important thing for you, or is taking care of other people the most important thing for you, right? A lot of people get lost in like, they have no values, right? So it's like, oh, unless I'm making money, I'm not doing business with you. And for me personally, I've always realized that I don't want to be surrounded by those people. If you're in it more for the money than the actual like journey and the people you're doing it with, then, then I don't want to do business with you, because money comes and goes, but like who you are as a person and your values always stay the same. So I personally, let me show you guys something real quick. I'm not sure if I think I can show you guys. I got this from it's Alchemy of Self. It's by Sam Ovens. Has anyone been into Consulting Accelerator? Let me know in the chat. Cool, awesome. Yes, sir. Yeah. So let me show you some of the stuff that I personally built out. So for me, this is what I built, right? This is Alchemy of Self. Sam is a GOAT, and if you haven't gone through Sam Oven's content, you better go through it. But so for me, some of my identity is, I'm prolific. I'm the, Nipsey Hussle, if you guys know him. He was a shark. He did great things while he was here. But I believe that I'm the type to actually go after the things that I want, right? And I think that, one of the things that makes me my competitive edge is the fact that I can have a bigger vision than others, right? And I put Grant Cardone here because I feel like he's a great family man, right? He's the type to go after his dreams. He never sacrifices his dreams, but he also makes sure that while he's going after his dreams, he's also taking care of the people that he loves. And he's also with his family all the time, right? Literally, his family is his business at this point, right? And I put books. So, just as a sign of knowledge. I need a great view. So I need a view, guys, right? And the truth is, when I was filling this out, it was probably maybe last year or 2020. And, you put these things here and you're like, oh my God, yeah, this is cool and all, but like, you don't really have conviction that you can actually achieve it, right? But today, except from, having 2 kids and having a wife and having a jet, there isn't anything here that I don't currently have or that I couldn't currently get, right? So it's good to get clear on the things that you want, right? And let me show you guys. And I think that at the bottom here, there is, last year's goals, right? I had told myself that, what the hell is going on? So I had told myself that I need 100K cash collected after tax on hand by end of 2021. I had, told myself that I needed 7 figures or 6 figures per month in revenue to hit that and maintain it consistently. Health and fitness goals, right? A specific weight, specific body, whatever the stuff. Endless natural energy, mental focus and clarity that is unrivaled, free from all unhealthy foods, habits, drinks, and snacks, behaviors, right? Personal, waking up at 7 a.m. I don't wake up at 7 a.m., guys. I don't need to cut off my sleep. I like to sleep well. So that definitely didn't get maintained. And that probably will, I won't say never, but for now, I'm just chilling. I'm sleeping as much as I need. Emotionalizing my targets, right? Emotionalizing where I want to be. This is crucial, right? Abundance mindset, truthful. I will never lie. to myself or anybody else ever. I make 25K profit per month. I build and invest in great relationships, right? So as you guys see here, it's always said in the present, right? It's never, oh, I will have 100K cash. Oh, I will make 6 figures per month. Oh, I am, truthful, or I will make 25K per month profit. No, it's, I do it already, right? And this is the type of stuff that really help you guys, just get clear. And then you have some affirmations here. Some of them I kept them from what Sam Ovens had them as, right? But these are just affirmations just to repeat. I don't go through them as much as I was before, but I used to go through them a lot in 2020 and beginning of 2021, right? Once you get busy in the trenches, like you don't need to do this because you fall in love with the work, right? So I didn't really need much affirmation. I don't need much affirmations anymore. But for anyone who doesn't have this, I think we could figure out a way to give you access to it later on. Who would want access to this thing? For those who haven't gone through it. Cool. Awesome. Yeah, I'll definitely be sharing it. I think it's something great. I think if you don't have clarity on where you're going, like, and who you need to become, like, you're just lost, right? So I think that would be pretty sick to have. All right, cool. Let's get back to here. Show video panel, hide meeting controls. Okay, cool. So the good thing is that once you get clear on everything that, your beliefs, your habits, the values, the goals, right? And non-negotiables of someone who actually deserves the success that you have, then you get to leverage something called a feedback loop and time. Who here has heard of feedback loops before? Cool. Awesome. So I won't go into, we could go on Google and look up the definition of feedback loops, but essentially what feedback loops are, if I was to like try and explain it to like a 5-year-old, I would just say that the output influences the input. Okay. So what this means is that once you get clear on what the beliefs are, okay, of the person who deserves the 50K a month business or 50K a month profit or 50K a week salary, then you get to be aware of the belief. And once you're aware of a specific belief, then you take specific actions that are exactly attached to the actual belief, right? So if I believe that in order to get to $250,000 per month, I need a team, well, guess what? I'm going to go ahead and hire a team. And guess what? By hiring a team, then something changes in my business stage, right? So as an example, in November, I removed myself from sales, and I think Hassan is on this call. And that month, I didn't take a single sales call, but I, we generated, we generated over 6 figures in revenue per month. And what that was is that it's just a confirmation. It's a new reality. Before, we were stuck between 50K and 100K because I was still doing everything myself. But I asked myself, hey, the person who's actually trying to get to 250K per month, is he still taking care of sales calls? Is he still taking care of generating appointments himself? No, right? So I didn't wait to be at 250K per month to have the stuff in place. I thought of the stuff that needed to be in place before I got to 250K per month. Okay. And then what ends up happening is that the new reality of November of last month, or November, which I'm talking about 2021, created a feedback. And that outcome, even like it just enhanced my belief in what needs to get done to actually achieve the outcome. Okay. So a lot of the time, and this is not just about like business stuff, it's about a belief. Let's say you believe in yourself. So then you take action with that new belief, right? And then you experience a new reality, and then it feeds back into the new belief. So now it's like a reflexive cycle that just keeps on making it stronger and stronger. So a lot of the people, the reason why they never get to achieve anything is, first of all, they don't have like an input. They don't get to decide what is the input of their life. So they're just going through life as like, oh, okay, my parents told me to go to school, so then I'll go to school and then I'll get a degree, and then everybody decides on your input. And that's why it's like, how do you get to control your reality if you don't control your belief or the input, which is here, right? So a lot of people who are like, you know, you don't start with the tactics, right? In the next 5 days, we're going to be going over a lot of tactics, but it starts with controlling your input, right? Because once you control the input, that input gets you to take new actions, right? And then that those new actions provide you with a new reality, and that new reality gives you a specific feedback, right? So you experience a new reality, you experience a new state of mind, and then that new state of mind influences your current state, and then it just enhances the thing. Okay, now let's go on to your biggest threat, which is thinking and decision making, right? What if I told you that even once you know what you want to achieve and who you need to become, it won't be enough for you to actually achieve it, right? And this is something that has always fascinated me, because I know people who are way smarter than I am, but who aren't doing the things then, or who aren't doing more than I am, right? Or I know people who are way dumber than I am who are killing it, right? And I've always asked myself, like, how? It doesn't make sense, because I know people who are literally geniuses who can't seem to get the things they want out of life. And for me personally, I think it comes down to thinking and decision making. If you were to get me to pick one skill set or one thing to work on, it would be making good decisions. Because as you guys will see here, let's check this out actually. So I made this training in the program, right? And there is, you know, just a training specifically for like just this and importance of making decisions. But I had not actually looked at what Jeff Bezos like degree was in, right? So I was like, okay, let me actually look at what this guy actually graduated in, right? And I went on Google, and it says that, you know, Jeff Bezos graduated from Princeton University in 1986 with a bachelor's in electrical engineering and computer science. Before, you know, before starting Amazon, he also went and worked for fintech startups and hedge funds and stuff like that. But I went out there and looked at what's the average salary of someone who's who graduated in the same field as Jeff Bezos. And apparently the entry level position is 50, let's say 60 grand. And let's say the average, you know, salary is like 65 grand or 70 grand, right? But then if you look at Bezos, his actual, let me actually zoom in a bit. This is how much Jeff Bezos makes in a second. He makes 2 grand every second. In an hour, he makes 8,900,000. He makes 8 million every hour, guys. Every week he makes, it's actually even harder to even count these numbers because it's just ridiculous. He makes $1 billion every single week. In a month, he makes, is it a billion? Yeah, it's a billion. A month he makes 6 billion. And in a day he makes 200 grand, okay? How does this make sense? How does, you know, same school stuff, same knowledge, but someone else is making 60 grand while he's making 8 million every hour? It just doesn't make sense. And it's like, well, how, right? And I personally think it's just a question of decisions. I don't think Jeff Bezos is any smarter than some of you guys who are on this call, but his decisions, the decisions and the thinking that he uses is what got him to where he's at, right? So if you were to ask me, hey, what thing should you focus on the most? I would just say, hey, focus on making the right decisions, okay? And that's why, you know, you'll get a lot of people who are like, oh, mindset is everything, mindset is everything. But it's like, no, it's not, right? And that's why I don't personally focus on mindset, because mindset stuff is not enough. You need to go deeper and understand the meaning behind everything and how the world works. Understand and recognize patterns to determine how humans behave, both rationally and irrationally. And you need to get good at understanding how the world works, guys. Okay? So my focus in this part will be to share with you the tools you need to become a great thinker and a great decision maker. I believe that you become unstoppable once you understand how the world works and how you want it to work. And if you understand how it works, you can get it to work, do the work for you, right? A lot of people are like, oh, but I'm not disciplined. Oh, I don't know how to do outreach. Oh, I don't have enough money to scale. I don't, but it's like, why is it all about you? Maybe you're not the thing that actually gets you to where you want to be. Jeff Bezos is not the one packing boxes, guys. He's actually out of his business, but the business is still running, right? So sometimes it's not about you, right? And my goal with you with this training today is to actually get you guys to realize that like a lot of the success that you're looking for is actually by getting to remove yourself, right? So this guy said, what the pupil must learn, if he learns anything at all, is that the world will do most of the work for you, provided you cooperate with it by identifying how it really works and aligning with those realities. If we do not let the world teach us, it teaches us a lesson, right? So that means that the truth is, all you really want to achieve the life that you want is align what you want with how the world works. And the thing you want will get delivered. Okay. So in order to turn you into the best thinker and a decision maker, we need to look at two things. We need to look at human biases and tendencies and mental models, right? Once you're aware of all your human bias and of these tendencies, you'll be able to easily avoid some of the main causes of human misjudgments, okay? Which a lot of you guys make, and I do also, okay? Mental models. Mental models are how we understand the world. Who knows what mental models are? And who actually has like leverages a few? I'm not saying you need to know all of them. I personally don't know all of them, but who has heard before the word mental model? Maybe put it in the chat. Yes, sir. Munger. Let's go. Cool. Awesome. Yeah, we have some. Yes, sir. Cognitive biases. Yeah, these are also, these could also be models for sure. Awesome. I'm happy you guys are sharks. Cool. Awesome. Now, mental models essentially, for me, let me actually give you guys, for me personally, because I like to really synthesize like stuff, because I'm not necessarily a genius. So I need to make stuff make sense for me. For me, mental models, what they are, it's literally like a picture you're making. It's like, let's say gravity. If you were trying to understand gravity, you have to make a specific image in your mind, right? Well, the image that we've created, the formulas that we've created, that's a mental model, right? Because you can't really see gravity, right? So in order to understand it, we actually need to design a specific, we just need to represent it in a specific way in our mind. And that design that you make to understand the thing that's what a mental model is, right? So mental models are how we understand the world. Not only do they shape what we think and how we understand, but they shape the connections and opportunities that we see. Mental models are how we simplify complexity, why we consider some things more relevant than others, and how we reason. A mental model is simply a representation of how something works. We cannot keep all of the details of the world in our brains, so we use models to simplify the complex into understandable and organizable chunks, right? Now, let's go into, let's start with human biases, okay? Cognitive biases that you need to be aware of. I picked a few that I personally think are insanely powerful to actually help me lead and be an amazing leader, be a great business owner, and be a great human who actually makes it unreasonable for me not to achieve my goals, right? I'll be covering incentive caused biases, inconsistency avoidance tendency. I'll be going over the social proof tendency and the reciprocity bias. Okay, now let's start with incentive caused bias, right? So incentive caused bias says that people with a vested interest in something will tend to guide you in the direction of their interest. Incentives influence the way people act. Change the incentive and you'll change the behavior. Incentives are tricky because they interact with our perceptual control systems, right? So for me personally, a lot of people will be like, oh, look at incentives, because, look at incentives and, look at the bias of incentives. But for me, I don't look at it as something wrong. I actually look at it as a tool to get people to do the things that I want them to do, right? So check this out. Charlie Munger talks about this. He made a talk called 12 Misjudgments. No, it's not actually. If you go on Google and look it up, oops, misjudgments. I don't even know how to write it. Just Charlie Munger. Oh my God, what the hell? Okay. If you guys get to read it, I'll just get you guys to read this. It's a really sick, right? If you guys get to, if you guys have time, go ahead and read it, right? But essentially, in this presentation, he talks about this this specific situation, right? So he goes to FedEx, right? And I'm not sure if he goes to FedEx, but maybe it's a case study that he heard of. But some of the people who pack the boxes, right? So people who work overnight were, given 8 hours to work, and they were told, hey guys, every morning we need to have everything packed and shipped, right? But somehow the employees never got to actually do the things and finish everything, right? And people were like, guys, how does it work? They were like, giving them warnings, trying to make sure that the job is done every job done as it should be done, right? But it never could get done, right? Until someone came in the business and they're like, hey guys, why are you guys paying people per hour? Right? Why are you guys, because what's the end goal? The end goal is to get the boxes shipped on time. So why are you guys giving 8 hours to people and paying them by the hour to do that job? So what they realized is that, okay, cool. What if we actually didn't pay them by the hour and just pay them for the full shift, regardless of how long it takes them, right? So that means that instead of telling you, hey, you have an 8-hour shift, come in and do the job and then you'll get paid per hour. They were like, hey guys, you guys will get compensated regardless if you get the job done in 8 hours or in 2 hours. And guess what happened? Everybody got the job done on time. And nothing was ever late, right? Everybody finished the job early because nobody wants to stay at the job 2 a.m. all night long, right? So now the incentive wasn't on getting them to finish the whole 8 hours, because before that was their incentive. It's like, hey, you get paid by the hour, so you need to get everything done in 8 hours. So what happened is once they switched it around, they incentivized them on getting the job done and not on the time frame it actually takes to get the job done, right? So if you're currently in a state where you're not making 50K per month, ask yourself, how can I incentivize people to get me to 50K per month? Instead of trying to think that you're the one who needs to do it. You have the power of incentives, guys. Power of incentives, that's how we run the world. That's how people run everything. The government, right? Teachers, people who clean the streets, people who make cars, people why am I making this goddamn presentation? It's because I'm incentivized to do it. So for me, if I want to get to 250K per month, I'm like, who do I need to give 50 grand to actually get me to 250K per month, right? So I'm like, okay, Hassan, get 15% of every deal you come in. And the guy closes 100 grand worth of deals in a single month, right? Or I'm like, hey, Belle, we need really good systems, right? Can I pay you and you help me? She's like, yeah, let's do it. Or I tell Reg, hey, Reg, I want to take this company really crazy. When I was running the appointment setting agency, I was managing like 14 virtual assistants, and I was about to go crazy, right? And I told Raj, who, by the time she was, part of the team who was doing the appointment setting for our customers, I was like, hey, Raj, I think you're really great. Would you like to get 10% of all profits? But you manage the team. And she was like, yeah, fuck yeah, let's do it. And guess what? In one single decision, I was able to take 60 hours worth of work to back it down to like maybe 10 hours a week. And the business worked wonderfully, right? Because the team was incentivized to do the right thing, right? Most people are afraid to actually invest the money. And that's why you're broke. You're afraid to give away a piece of the profit. And that's why you're broke, right? For me, if I want to get to 250K per month, I'm willing to give away 150K to get there, right? And that makes it unreasonable for me not to get where I want, right? So make sure that you, every time you're asking yourself, if you see someone who's not doing the right thing in your company, ask them, what's the incentive here? Is the incentive to get me the thing that I want, or are they incentivized, or maybe there is a lack of incentives, right? If you have appointment setters, if you have a sales rep, if you have someone who's managing a department of a company where the growth relates, like if their thing doesn't grow, then you don't grow, then make sure that they're incentivized by the growth of the company, right? So that's something to be aware of, right? So make sure you always keep in mind incentives, and that will help you a lot. Inconsistency, avoidance tendency, right? We rarely do things that are inconsistent with our identity, beliefs, and habits. To save energy, we are often reluctant to change our habits, especially bad ones. Such bad habits include biased thinking patterns. These patterns lead to cognitive errors, limiting our choice of actions in life, right? Quick question. Who here feels bad or feels unworthy when they don't work out? Has anyone ever felt that feeling of like, oh man, I didn't work out today, man, I feel like shit? Please let me know in the chat. Yeah, or not doing the work in your business, right? Okay, perfect. Awesome. Well, the reason why we feel bad when we don't actually do the right thing is because of this bias, which is we actually hate being inconsistent, right? And once I learned this, it all made sense. And I realized that what if this tendency could actually be the key for me to achieving my dreams, right? What if I told you that you can shortcut success by simply convincing that you're already at the finish line through mere visualization and repetition? A lot of people will tell you, oh, visualize where you want to go, emotionalize your goals. But it's like, but why? Don't tell me what to do. Tell me why it works. And if you want to know why visualization works so well, is because let me tell you guys. Check this out. I showed you earlier this alchemy of self workbook, right? Now imagine this. I wake up every day and I spend, like 20 minutes going over everything that I want, right? I want to, run a consultancy, 250K per month. I want to be a real estate investor. I want a clothing brand. I make 8 figures for my business passively and created a 7-figure yearly income from his real estate portfolio. I enjoy my passion for cars, and this really it buys cars for all my brothers. I need a Porsche, guys. Okay, so if you keep seeing me talk about Porsches, this is why, right? July 28th, pulling up to the dealership, daily car. I didn't end up pulling up to the dealership, right? Because I improved my thinking. Now I'm not worried about cars, but one day we might pull up to the dealership, guys. Okay, I'm a beast. I have to be a beast, evolving continuously, right? So check this out. Every day I just come here. I look at the stuff that I want, right? I look at this home. Look at this home, guys. This is fucking crazy, right? And then I go over here and then I look at this place in New York. I'm like, wow, this is sick, right? And then I go over this manifesto, and then I go over my 2021 goals, right? And I go over everything, affirmations after affirmations after affirmations, right? Guess what happens after I repeat it enough times? Well, it becomes my reality. Even if it's not necessarily happening, but my brain doesn't care. My brain doesn't know if this mic is real or if it's fake, right? Repetition makes it so that your brain believes the thing that is consistently showing up. It doesn't have to be reality. If you were to close your eyes, right, and imagine making love, who here would get turned on? Everyone. But why is that? But why is it that we understand that that could work for that? But why don't we visualize the life that we want to live, right? So if you want to actually get there, close your eyes every single day, imagine the life that you want. If you want to be living in a penthouse, feel how that penthouse would feel like. What time are you waking up at? Who are you waking up with? What car are you driving? Are you driving a thousand horsepower car, or are you driving a Toyota? If you want to drive a Toyota, it's cool, but feel it. And then what ends up happening once you repeat it is that your brain ends up feeling like, yo, if you wake up, let's say if I imagine driving a Porsche, right? If you guys have followed me for a minute, you guys know that I like talking about Porsches, but now I drive a Mazda. But when I'm driving a Mazda on the streets, I'm like, who are you, bro? What the fuck is this Mazda doing? I don't like it. I feel inconsistent. If I don't work out, I feel like I haven't done something. I feel like I've done something wrong. But guess what? Before I could make 20K, 50K per month, I felt like I wasn't really good. I wasn't doing the right thing because I had created a new identity. And that's why it's so good to create identities, is because if you can build a character before you get there and you repeatedly tell yourself what their beliefs are, what they want to achieve, what life they're living, well, you become that person. And then we have this tendency that has existed for millions of years, right? Which will make you want to actually become that person, right? So this is a way of literally making sure that you always do the right thing by simply aligning your identity and making sure that you leverage this bias, right? So this could be either wrong or you could use it to your own advantage, right? So make sure you realize that you will never want to be inconsistent with who you believe you are. So make sure that the person that you believe you are is the person that gets the life that you want. Boom. Free money. Social proof tendency. We never quite leave behind that tendency to look at others for clues, right? When we feel uncertain, we all tend to look to others for answers as we should behave, what we should think, and what we should do. We have an automatic tendency to think and act as we see others around us think and act, right? Why is that? Well, because, if you go back like a few thousand years or a few million years, you wouldn't have survived by being independent. You would have gone into the ocean and get eaten by sharks, right? Instead, how we survived is by looking at what other people before us were doing. If they were going to hunt, then we would go ahead and hunt. If they would go ahead and, just find vegetables to eat, let's say the women would go out there and get vegetables to eat, then, women, when they grew up, they would go out there and do the same thing, right? If we were told to never go there, we would never go there because we wouldn't, the stories maybe didn't even have an explanation. If someone told you don't go there, you don't go there. You don't even ask why. So we've built over thousands and thousands of years of doing this. Well, it has created a social proof tendency where if someone is buying the $500,000 program, somehow you want to buy the $500,000 program. If everyone is buying Sam Oven's Consulting Accelerator, everybody wants to get into Sam Oven's Consulting Accelerator. If Iman Ghazi is selling all agency owner courses, you're like, whoa, Agency Navigator, let me get in. But does it mean that probably that product is best for you? No. Does it mean that the $500,000 program is best for you? No. Do your own research. So I personally believe that most of everyone online, me included, they make their money not because they have great products, but because they actually leverage social proof, right? Everybody's talking everybody's flaunting their customers making, 100K a month, but somehow you check and it's everyone's customer, right? You see this guy on an interview. Oh, he's worked with Serge. Oh, he's worked with Jaime. Oh, he's worked with Iman. Then where does the value come from? From which course is it, right? So you end up confused. But this is this social proof thing going in, right? If you guys have seen my video, but I ended up buying like a almost a 10 grand program from a guy, and I got in and literally I finished the whole thing in like 3 days. And I knew almost everything. What I learned from it was not that I got scammed, but I learned the power of social proof. I realized that if enough people want something, everybody will want it, right? So right now, you can either protect yourself from it or use it to your own advantage. I see so many people with great services who don't showcase and flex their results. And I'm like, are you serious? That's why you're broke, because nobody knows what amazing things you're doing for your customers. So if a customer sees success, make sure you're propagating online. Okay. Social proof, guys, make sure you're protected from yourself. Just because someone is flexing and someone is having 1,000 testimonials doesn't necessarily mean that they have a good product, right? And like I said, myself included. So I'm not necessarily saying I'm like a holy person in this world. No, I'm not. I leverage these same tactics, right? Protect yourself from it, but make sure you use them. Okay. Reciprocity bias, right? Reciprocity is the desire most people feel to pay back for what they received. This one of the most powerful psychological tendencies underlying human cooperation. This desire to reciprocate is not necessarily in proportion to the benefit provided. And this is pretty funny because after reading the book by Robert, right, Persuasion, I think is the book. Who has read it? Let me know in the chat. Hey, he talked about the fact that, just because, let's say you guys have probably seen it, right? A salesperson, you go buy a car, they give you like something to drink, right? I went to the Mercedes dealership like last year, and they gave me a really cool bottle with their brand and logo on it. I was like, oh, this is really cool, right? But what they were doing essentially is giving first, right? And what that does, okay? It does, because this has existed for years, right? Like I said, I was talking about, guys used to hunt, women used to like let's say go, get reap or so like just get the fruits and vegetables and stuff like that. And some families didn't have food. Let's say not everybody who went to hunt gathered actual stuff to eat. So what ended up happening is that families would go ahead and be like, hey, we have enough meat for us and you guys, so here is a piece that you guys can consume. And what ended up happening is that since that family gave you let's say meat or fruits and vegetables, then one day it will happen that they will not have enough stuff to actually survive. So now, because they gave you when you didn't have it, now you actually get to give them when they don't have the thing that they actually need to eat to survive. So we did that for thousands of years, right? And what ends up happening is that I was like, okay, cool, amazing. Well, can I leverage it through outreach? And what ended up happening is that when I started my appointment setting agency, right, we used to do it traditionally like everyone does it, right? They're like sending emails and then messages and stuff like that, hoping to get meetings. But I was like, well, what if I induce the reciprocity bias by giving people before we actually try to take away from them, right? So I was like, well, the best way to give, let's start actually making 5-minute Loom videos for customers or prospects. And then what ends up happening is that when someone gives you something, whether you subconsciously, whether you're conscious of the thing or not, subconsciously, you'll feel like you actually owe them something in return. And that's how we used it. I promise you guys, if I was to go back in January and give you guys some of the feedback we got from our first customers who were making looms, right? Like prospects were like, oh my God, thank you so much for making this video. Yes, I'm available to get on a call. But I promise you, if you were to look at their other emails of people trying to get them on a call, they're like, why are you spamming me, bro? Right? Just giving switches something in your brain. And the fact that I'm making this challenge, right? A lot of you asked me, or some people asked me, hey, Serge, why did you decide to do this challenge? Bro, I need everybody here to want to reciprocate. So I'm about to give you all so much value that you feel like, yo, wow, this was great. So let me actually give back, right? So this is the type of stuff that, it's subconscious. So we're not necessarily aware of it, right? And you get these gurus telling you, oh, make looms, oh, give value, but they're not telling you why. So my goal is to give you guys the underlying reasons as to why this stuff works. And then once we actually get to doing it, it's going to make sense, right? Now, let's go into the mental models that you need to be aware of, okay? I picked a few, probably some of the most important ones for me personally, because there are a lot of them. I couldn't even go through them if I wanted to today, but check this out. First principles or reasoning from first principles, okay? first principles thinking is one of the best ways to reverse engineer complicated situations and unleash creative possibility, right? Sometimes called reasoning from first principle, it's a tool to help clarify complicated problems by separating the underlying ideas or facts from any assumptions based on them, right? This mental models, put simply, provides you with the truth. Once you have the truth, you get to gain control of the game and not be stuck in the matrix, right? You know, so simply put, what I personally, if I was trying to explain again to like a 5-year-old what first principles are, is instead of trying to reason, just trust your gut or try to make sense of just like using stories, analogies, and stuff like that. No, ask yourself, what's the like literally, and actually let's try to use an actual example, right? So as you guys know, who here knows that kids, or I mean, everybody probably knows it, but like kids always are asking like, why? So when you tell them like, hey, you need to drink water, why? And then you would answer, because your body needs hydration. Why? Because if you're not hydrated, you're going to die. Why? Because I mean, I'm not necessarily, I don't know much about the human body, but like, I guess that in the actual water, it helps, maybe, helps with the blood circulation, with oxygen and stuff like that. So you get to understand the underlying reasons behind the actual thing, right? So let's actually pick an actual example of a problem, right? Because you can use first reason from first principles with simple problems like, I can't get meetings for my agency. Who here can get meetings? Can someone tell me who's not able to get meetings? Cool. Yeah, let me know if you're struggling a bit. Let's leverage this first principles to of why you guys can get meetings. Cool. So let's try to think of like, oh, I can't get meetings. Okay, cool. Why? Well, the first would be, oh, I'm not consistent with doing outreach. Okay, why? Well, I'm not consistent because I'm not disciplined. Okay, why aren't you disciplined? Oh, I'm not disciplined because I'm not getting paid to do it. Okay, why aren't you getting paid to do it? Oh, well, because I'm the founder. Oh, okay, cool. Perfect. Now you understand that the reason you're not getting meetings is because you're not incentivized to get the meetings, right? Coming back to what's the incentive. So now what you need to do is, once you understand the reason why you're not getting meetings, it's not because of the outreach channel. It's not because your offer. Most of you guys who are offering Facebook ad, you know that someone else out there is making 100K a month selling Facebook ad. So we don't think that the actual system that you're selling is the issue, right? We know that the offer isn't the issue. We know that the outreach channel isn't the issue, right? So now what we realize is that it's because you're not incentivized to do it. So now my answer to you is like, well, incentivize someone else to get you the meetings. It could be a $3 an hour VA. It could be, joining our program, and then we build your acquisition outreach, or, we do everything for you, right? So essentially, reasoning for first principles is you're trying to find the truth of why things aren't working or why things actually work, right? An example of Elon Musk reasoning from first principles, they would say, is, he's talking about batteries, right? So historically, it costs 600 per kilowatt hour, $600 per kilowatt hour. And so it's not going to be much better than in the future, right? So this is essentially people saying that, oh, it costs a specific amount per kilowatt hour, so it's never really going to be much better in the future, right? So the first principles would be, what are the material constituents of the batteries? What is the spot market value of the material constituents? It's got cobalt, nickel, aluminum, carbon, and some polymers for separation, and it still can, right? So as you guys can see here, instead of asking like, okay, perfect, well, can I get it for cheaper discount, or can we try to sell it differently? No, he's actually going back to the basics, which is what actually makes up the batteries. And okay, perfect. Now, what is the actual cost of these resources, right? So, break down that on a material basis. If we bought on a London Metal Exchange, what would each of these cost? Oh, geez, it's $80 per kilowatt hour. So clearly, you just need to think of a clever ways to take those materials and combine them into the shape of a battery cell. And you can have batteries that are much, much cheaper than anyone realizes, right? So most of you guys are currently dealing with issues in your business, right? But you guys never reason for first principles. You're actually never able to find the answers by your own self, right? And this is because I personally think that business is it's not math, guys, it's common sense. But the issue is that most people can think, right? I don't need another course to know how to get to 8 figures per year. I just need to think. What does it take to actually get to 8 figures per year, right? So this is something that you guys need to actually start including in your thinking, right? If you're having an issue, if you're feeling bad, if you're sick, then ask yourself, okay, cool. What did I consume? What does the body need? Well, what haven't I been giving to the body, right? And then you end up actually, you don't need to be a scientist to figure it out, right? You'll get pretty good at it. So first reasoning for first principles is the best one to actually be good. People who are engineers and stuff like that, understand this pretty easily. But yeah. Now, the next one is second order thinking, right? This mental model is here to help you get out of the first level thinking, which most people are stuck in. They only everyone is just literally trying to solve immediate problems without considering the consequences. While second order thinking is more deliberate. It's thinking in terms of interactions and time, understanding that despite our intentions, our interventions often cause harm, right? And, Ray Dalio, who's a great hedge fund guy, said that failing to consider second and third order consequences is the cause of a lot of painfully bad decisions. And it is especially deadly when the first inferior options confirm your own biases. Never seize on the first available option, no matter how good it seems, before you've asked questions and explored, okay? So I think that this single mental model has probably helped me make the best decisions in the past year of being in business, right? Because I never make decisions to give me the best immediate gratification thing that I want now. I'm always making decisions to try to that have like second and third order effects are actually positive, right? Because most of you guys, or most of society, the reason why they never get the thing that they want is because they're always just seeking instant gratification, right? Even in business, right? So I'll go over just like ways you can actually put to use, or you can use second order thinking. It's always asking yourself, and then what, right? So let's say you're looking to like hire. I don't know which use case I can use right now. I'm trying to think. Let's try this example, right? Actually, no, I don't want this. I don't want this example. Let's use the same example of like doing outreach and getting someone else in place, right? So there are two instances. There is someone who's, so let's say option A is to hire a virtual assistant, and option B is to save money and do it yourself, right? Option A gives you, I forgot what it was. No, actually, let's say option A is saving money and doing it yourself, right? So that means that you're going to save money. Let's say you have $1,000 in your bank account, and then you're like, oh, but I don't want to invest that because it's the only money that I have. Okay, cool, no worries. Well, the immediate consequence is that you get to save money, which is positive. So you're like, oh yes, I feel safe. Cool. Well, the second order effect of that decision is that you get to do outreach yourself. And then the third order consequence is that you don't actually get results. You get the same results that you've been having for the past 3 years. And then the third or fourth order consequence after that is that you start actually now being depressed of you not being able to achieve your dreams. And then you do that long enough and you're quitting automatically. right? So now, although the first consequence of your decision was great, you were able to save money, which is a good positive thing, but the actual second and third order and fourth order and fifth order consequences that you end up going out of business. Now, what is the other way around, right? It could be hiring a VA, it could be joining the 50K a month program, it could be, become like, this and that, right? So let's say you're making a decision of like, oh, should I join the $500,000 program or not? Okay, cool. Well, you could either not join, save the money, and then you keep having the same consequences, or you could join and then, oh my God, the immediate action is that you lose a lot of money, right? It hurts. It stings a bit. Your bank account, you look at it, you're like, God damn, what the hell have I just done? But now the second order consequence is that now you get access to everything. You have the right offer. You have the access to the right outreach systems. We build the team for you. We get you the right audiences, right? And now you're like, okay, yes, it hurts a bit, but now you see a positive consequence. And then the third order consequence is that, guess what? You now start getting results much faster. And once you get results much faster, you start getting capital coming in much faster. So yes, it was negative at first, but it was positive after, right? So for me, I always use this when I'm making decisions, right? If I'm like, hey, Serge, should you go buy a Porsche today? Well, my first level thinking was like, yes, let's go buy a Porsche today. We can't afford it. It will be good. I'll be able to take someone's girlfriend on a ride. I'll be able to get my brothers on a ride, right? Oh yeah, that will feel great. But since I know about second order consequences, I'm like, wait a minute. That's not, the consequence don't just stop there. It's not just a good feeling. The second order consequence of me buying a Porsche is that I'll want to drive it. It's not even the money. And then if I drive it, guess what? I'm not doing these challenges, right? And if I'm not doing these challenges, well, guess what? I'm not helping enough people. And guess what? If I'm not helping enough people, the revenue will start dipping. And if the revenue dips, well, now I have to start thinking about, oh my God, it's costing me $4,000 to actually own $4,000, $5,000 to actually own this Porsche every month. Oh my God, I'm now starting to worry about the money. So as you guys see, I don't buy a Porsche because I don't want to actually have to worry about Porsches, about being able to afford a Porsche, right? So every decision that I make is never just about what do I want. No, it's like, if I got the thing that I want today, long term, what's the effect of that consequence of that decisions, right? And if you guys were to look at some of the decisions you've made in the past year or so, or in your life, you get to realize that in the moment, you made the right decisions, but long-term wise, it was the dumbest decisions you've ever made, right? And it could be the same thing with alcohol. Let's say you're like, oh, I like drinking wine, right? In the past 2 weeks, I haven't really been drinking, but I used to like drinking, let's say, like a little bit of wine. But I know people in my family who drink a lot, but they don't actually understand the second order consequences of them drinking. Because you drink today, and then you get a high, or you feel good, and then the next day you want to repeat the same feeling because it was amazing. But what you don't understand is that if you keep repeating it, then it actually goes and impacts other areas of your life. You're not waking up on time. You're not feeling great. And if you don't feel great, then that means you don't get to perform wonderfully. And if you don't perform wonderfully, then that means that you don't get to be consistent. And if you're not consistent, well, you're never actually going to be able to even get access to the capital to be able to afford your lifestyle of being a alcoholic. So make sure you make your decisions wisely. Okay. So, and then the other thing is, let me look at what you guys are thinking. Okay, so yeah. So inverting thinking process, right? Instead of focusing on how to solve a problem or achieving a specific outcome, which could be making 50K per month, growing a team of 8 players, creating the best offer, becoming the happiest man alive, and thinking of what could keep you from achieving X. Well, wait 1 second. Actually, yeah, I'm sorry. So what this is essentially, instead of focusing on how to get to your dream outcome, actually just think of what could keep you from getting to your dream outcome. Simply put, that's what it is. You simply invert the actual thing, right? And simply avoid everything that would keep you from not achieving X, right? And Charlie Munger said, all I want to know is where I'm going to die, so I'll never go there. And this is pretty profound, right? And I personally think that if you use this inverted thinking process, then you get to achieve everything, right? So as an example, it's like, let's say, who here hasn't been able to get to 10K a month? Put it in the chat. I'd like to know who hasn't hit 10K a month. Cool. All right. Yeah, a lot of you guys, it's crazy. Y'all are crazy. Y'all are crazy. Cool. Perfect. Now, let me try to use my own thinking when it, let's say I'm making 0K today. Okay. Let's say I'll go back to 0 and I want to get to 10K per month in, let's say, like a month, right? I would ask myself, what could keep me from not getting to 10K a month? And I realized that, okay, cool. Not doing outreach consistently would definitely keep me from not getting the attention, right? What else could keep me from not getting to 10K a month? Not having the right offer could keep me from not getting to 10K a month because I'm selling something that people don't want. 3, not being good at sales, not understanding good sales process and how to actually get people to convert in a sales call. That could keep me from not getting to 10K a month. Not having a good backend could keep me from not getting to 10K a month, right? So now, if I understand that not doing consistently outreach could keep me from 10K a month, guess what? I'm gonna figure out a way to be consistent on outreach, guys, right? If the offer is something that could keep me from not getting to 10K a month, I'm gonna work on the offer too. I'm gonna find out what exactly are people making 100K a month, 200K a month, or even adding consistently 5K every week are doing, and what are they selling? And I'm gonna sell that, right? If I'm not good at sales, I'm gonna learn about sales, right? So, and I've done it personally to understand how to get past 6 figures per month, because I did this when, probably like a few months ago, I was just on a drive and I was like, what could keep me from not getting to 600K per month? And I was like, well, if I'm selling and I'm also building the product and I'm also fulfilling for my customers, then I'll never get to 6 figures per month. So what I simply did was I removed myself from sales, right? And I got Hassan in. And then what I did next was, or I did this before, is I just removed myself from a lot of the customer support, right? And I put someone in place. So now I have someone in the actual delivery, because if you can't help your customers, then you're not going to get paid, simply put. And then I also did work on the product, right? I focused on building the best thing that I could build for my customers, right? So now, if you know what keeps you from not hitting your goal, you just stay away from it. And I don't care if you don't have the money, because a lot of people, the excuse that they have, or it's not really an excuse, it's an actual fact. And I understand that it happens in specific areas of the world, but do your best to just set up the systems to make it unreasonable for you not to succeed. And you will succeed inevitably, right? So inverted thinking, I use it every time, all the time, to be honest, right? And it helps me a lot. So, and then the next one is probabilistic thinking. Probabilistic thinking is essentially trying to estimate, using some tools of math and logic, the likelihood of any specific outcome coming to pass. Successfully thinking in shades of probability means roughly identifying what matters, coming up with a sense of odds, doing a check on our assumptions, and then making a decisions. We can act with a higher level of certainty in complex and unpredictable situations. We can never know the future with exact precision. Probabilistic thinking is an extremely useful tool to evaluate how the world will most likely look, so that we can effectively strategize, right? So I know a lot of people who make decisions without really understanding the probabilities of each outcome, right? So as an example, right, for questions like, should I spend money on ads? Should I hire an employee? Should I save money? Right? So everyone deals with these kind of situations, right? Where you're like, should I do this or should I not do this? Okay, cool. Let's actually evaluate what's the potential or the because in order to make a decision, you need to know what exactly you want. So let's say for me, I need to get to, let's say, $250,000 per month. Then and I'm trying to think of like, should I spend money on ads? Should I not spend money on ads? Then I have to think of, well, what gives me a higher probability of achieving 250K per month? Is it doing outbound prospecting, or is it doing, leveraging something like ads, Facebook ad, YouTube ads, which is infinitely more, infinitely has more leverage, right? So if you actually think in probabilities, you understand that ads are infinitely more efficient than outbound prospecting. So guess what? If you go on the ads manager, we're spending money right now. And I'm not even spending money thinking of like, oh, what's an ROI? What's an ROI? How much, are we getting leads? Are we not getting leads? I don't care about that, because the probabilities are that I have more chances of succeeding at the thing that I want to achieve by doing this than what I've been doing, simply put, right? Or it could be hiring an employee. Always ask yourself, do you have more chances of achieving your goal by doing it yourself or by hiring someone? If the probabilities is higher on the other end, then do the thing that has more probabilities, right? Should you save money? Should you not save money? Well, what gets me closer to my goal? Is having more money in the bank getting me to my goal, or is it spending it getting me closer to my goal, right? So you end up figuring out that, shit, actually saving money is actually a stupid idea, right? So yeah, all this stuff actually works together. So it's not leveraged in a vacuum. So probabilistic thinking will probably work with second order thinking. It will also maybe help with, first principles or all this stuff. So it all works together, right? So now let's talk about the power of environment, right? We influence our environment, but we forget that they influence us too, right? Find me someone who lives in a bad and negative environment. Find me someone who doesn't have friends or community in the thing that they're trying to build or achieve, and I'll show you someone who has little probability of success, right? I've came to realize that the biggest lever you can pull when looking to elevate yourself is to simply surround yourself with people who are already where you are, right? But you don't stop there. You make sure to create your own little world where anything is possible, whether it be your apartment, your room, or your office, right? You unfollow every negative friend, right? You block their ass. You distance yourself from negative family members, right? You distance yourself from that girlfriend or boyfriend who doesn't believe in you, right? You tell them bye-bye, right? And, I personally was still living at home when I was generating 40K a month, right? My only home expense was, 500, no, I was literally paying like $500 to get everything, right? I used to give $500 to my dad, and he, paid for food, rent, all that good stuff. And any normal person would have told me, any normal person who doesn't understand the different manual models that I just shared would have told me to stay home and save the money, right? But of course, it is a great advice if you look at an immediate consequence of that decision, right? But are the long-term effects positive? Hell no, right? Not really. So, because if you look at it, let's say I was saving let's say like 30K a year from just living at home. Well, okay, cool. But living home, the date, I think I left home July 15th of last year. And I think the 2 weeks after that, or maybe in 3-4 weeks, we were doing what we did in a month in less than 14 days. I think we did it in like 10 days, right? So what was the first order consequence of me staying at home would have been like, oh yeah, I'm saving, $3,000 on rent, and utilities and all that good stuff, but it's actually costing me an extra 40K per month, right? Because I'm not in the right environment. So if you're currently not where you want to be and you can't change your environment, you can find people who are playing at the same game that you're playing at. Please change it. Change it, please, 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 right? Because I personally, and I think a lot of people, talk about it. I know Nick Cosman talks about it. I know, Steve Jobs, literally when he moved out or he moved in his apartment, he literally had nothing in his apartment because he didn't want anything to bother him, right? And if you're if you're currently not making 50K per month, right? I would suggest to join a mastermind group of people on the same path as you. This is literally just like, it's just like a cheat code, right? Use one screen. You don't need 5 screens. Okay. I see people who have like 10 screens on their desk. I'm like, what are you doing? Instead of making decisions on that could literally add an extra 10K a day, you're making decisions on on where your eyes go. So you either pick, you spend like 100 decisions a day checking, oh, should I look at this screen first? Should I look at this screen second? Right? While others are like, hey man, should we spend this $1 billion on trying to fix on how to go to Mars? While you're trying to make decisions on which screen to check, bro. Make a choice. Help yourself, right? So this is decision fatigue. This also goes in your environment, right? Remove everything. If you have your phone distracting you, put it away. Like, just give it to your neighbor, okay? Have reminders everywhere of your dreams and your new character, right? So, if you guys get access to that cheat sheet, make sure that you have it everywhere. Put it on your walls, put it on your phone, put it everywhere, right? And then make the hardest thing to do the easiest thing to do by removing all friction, guys, right? This is the key to everything. If you know that you're not, a lot of people are like, oh, I'm not disciplined. No, it's not that you're not disciplined. It's just that there are a lot of friction to do the right thing. So for me, if I want to build a great business, then the first thing that I do every morning is the hardest thing. Because I know that in the morning, I have the most energy. I have, I don't check what the world is about. I just focus on me and I get the thing done, right? And an example of what we do for our customers, right? Because I've realized that a lot of people just, even though they know what to do, they're still not going to be doing it. So for me, I was like, well, can I remove as much friction as I can for my customers, right? So, for our customers, instead of telling you, because you have these courses, right? And a lot of people confuse our program with a course, right? But our program is not really about information, and I don't really care about the information that we share. But what we do instead is that we just literally almost take care of everything for you, right? We find, hire, and train the employees. Because I could tell you where to find the VAs. I will actually be giving you guys for free how we find the VAs, how we train them. But that's friction, right? We provide a step-by-step roadmap to adding 50K to 100K per month, right? So they don't have to waste energy to think about what they need to do next. So if you actually go in, like in the $500,000 program material, you'll see the roadmap, right? And step 1, step 2, step 3, there's steps. I don't want you focusing on how to leverage, scaling systems before you even get on fixing on your sales argument for your offer. Once you're done with that, like it's just step-by-step thing, right? There is an amount of days you need to spend in each phase. It's because I don't want you to think. I just want you to get to work, right? Or I just need you to make sure that we get us to work, right? Because, some of the stuff it's done with you, right? We review and troubleshoot their outreach campaigns for them so they don't have to waste time, energy, or a single moment being depressed about bad results. Reg, can you give me a link of the foundational sheet that has all the customers' roadmaps, or no, foundational sheets? Because I'll show you guys. Because what ends up happening is that people get bad results and think that they shouldn't get bad results, but that's not the truth. What you need is that it's impossible for. Thank you. 1 second. A lot of people make the mistake of thinking that you shouldn't have bad results, right? But, oops, why am I logged in at Serge Gatari? Doesn't make sense. But one of the things that I've realized is that you should not expect to not deal with problems. Instead, what you should do is understand that there is no way to avoid problems in business. Problems are inevitable, right? But for me, I don't want my customers to be like, oh, but I don't want them to try to figure out solutions on how to think. I'm just telling them like, hey, don't worry, we'll take away the responsibility of dealing with problems. Let us just deal with them for you, right? And we do this by reviewing their campaigns and just making the decisions for them on what they need to do next, right? Let's see. Cool. So what we do here is that every customer here has a foundational sheet, right? And we get to see at what everyone is doing, right? And we get to see the conversions for each prospecting, right? So if let's say Lewis is having a hard time with their outreach campaign, then Reg will come in and be like, yo, how come, your team is only sending 20 outreaches a day? Let's increase that to 50, right? Etc. Okay. And then we get to review everything for every customer. Okay. And this is, we just revamped everything recently. So it's just going to be, we're still using actually making this work for everyone. But we just want to remove as much friction as you can from everything. We help them pick the best offers, the best subniches, the best messages based on the data we have, right? When you think of programs or courses, you think of information. But based on the number of courses I've been through, I should already be a millionaire by now, right? Because it's not, it's because information is great, but we're still lazy humans, right? And we will not do everything we need to do to actually get to where we want, because there is friction and we're just lazy people. We're just trying to save energy and actually survive. That's our main thing, right? And I've created the $500,000 program with the intention of removing as much friction as possible between you and your goal of making 10K, 20K, and 50K per month or more. Okay. I think I've talked a lot. So we can actually just get into the Q&A now. And yeah, so ask any questions related to what was covered today, or share any obstacles that you may be facing on the personal side of things. Systems and strategy and questions will be covered and solved in the upcoming days. So I'm not sure if anyone had any questions, but I think what we could do is, I'm thinking of maybe even letting you guys just get on mic and actually share your questions instead of actually reading them. So we can give like a few people to actually the opportunity to speak. So just raise your hand, and Reg, I think you can give people the ability to speak, right?
Yep.
Cool. Let me change the view so I can see everyone. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought of today. I know it wasn't necessarily, maybe the stuff that everyone is looking for, which is like, oh, how do we know what's the message? What's the sales tactics? But I think that this is the stuff that that you need to be aware of, right? Maybe what thing did you guys prefer the most within the stuff? Maybe the biases, the mental models that helped you guys the most, or that you guys think will be using the most? My main takeaway with mental models: second order thinking. Mental models are awesome. Cool. I trust your judgment on what is needed in the outset. How many numbers of Instagram? That more than I thought I would have learned. Cool. Yeah. Can you tell us what was the mindset change that changed everything? I don't think it's one thing. It's I know a lot of people are asking like, oh, what's the one thing? But it's impossible, guys. And you guys shouldn't look for that one thing. You guys should focus on, I don't know. This is literally the hardest question. And I know, when you're starting out, or, when you're getting in the game, you're always looking for that one thing. Like, what's the top 3 things that someone could tell you to actually succeed? But for me personally, I just think that if you look at the quote that I shared at first, which was, everything that is not forbidden by the laws of nature can be achieved with the right knowledge, I think that's the only thing that I would suggest you guys to do, is just look for the right knowledge, seek help, seek someone who is where you're at, and just buy access to what they have. Money, we can make so much of it, guys, right? But you can't buy time. So just make sure the cheat code is just figure out a way to access capital and just use that capital to get the thing you want, right? Let's see. So we have two people who raised their hands. Raise your hand if you have a question, and then we'll just go through people who have raised their hands. Peter, you want to go with a question? Ask your question. Let's let a shark talk.
Good. So yeah, my main question is, and this has been like my biggest boundary with like working with a lot of coaches, is will this work for like my niche and the people that I'm working with, right? So like, does your outreach process work for coaches, consultants? Because I'm only working with business coaches, so like people that are doing what you're doing. So would this work for them as well?
Yeah, I mean, well, I think that's a great question, and I think that's a question that a lot of people worry about, like, will this work for me? But like I said, for me, and the way that I build solutions is I'm not thinking from, oh, will this specifically work for like an agency or a coach or this and that. What I'm thinking of is I'm thinking of principles that make the actual outreach work, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not necessarily talking about, oh, this is exactly the right word you should tell to this guy for it to work. No, what I'm focusing on is what makes it unreasonable for it not to work, right? And then we just make sure that we build the systems that actually make it work. So like, can you DM coaches on Facebook and Instagram? Yes, right? Do they need the thing that you actually want them to, that you're selling? If they do, perfect. Then the thing that's keeping them from not buying your services is because they're not aware of what you do at scale. So what we do is, I know Aman, you're asking about VSL and stuff. So what we would do is, for coaches, I would actually go ahead and create an evergreen VSL, an educational process, right? That we personally leverage. And I would just propagate it to so many people organically. And this is essentially what we did, right? I know I'm personally in the coaching and consulting niche, so we actually use it. Last month when we did over 6 figures in revenue, we did it organically. I've never spent a single dime on ads. So if you ask me, does the stuff work for your niche? Fuck yeah. I mean, I've done it. I've used it. So yes, it works. Right? Yeah. So yeah, did you have any other question?
Yeah, that was my only question, because like at the moment, I have like 3 clients and like 2 other guys in the other accounts, and then I'm handling 1 client, and I'm just thinking like I shouldn't be doing this shit. So yeah, like actually thinking of, because my clients are running ads, and like a lot of the leads that we are closing for them or we're getting on appointments is like through ads. We're not leveraging organic at all.
Nah, man, you shouldn't go straight to ads, man. You shouldn't, because ads are tricky when you really want to be profitable off the bat. So, so no, I wouldn't suggest you sell ads as a service, or maybe tell them, no, don't use ads. Focus on leveraging an audience, and we'll be talking about that later on this week. But like, yeah, audiences is everything, because once you have an audience and you make it work, you get to 20K, 30K, 50K, 100K per month without any ads. Then you can actually go spend 50 grand on ads and not even worry about anything, which is personally what we're trying to do.
Makes sense.
Right? Yeah.
That's it.
Shahud, you're next.
Yes, sir. My question is that this outreach process that you do, which means you send these messages to brands, right, in Instagram.
Yeah.
So what if we do the same thing in LinkedIn and send those messages to, if we find the business owner itself?
I mean, it will work. It doesn't matter the channel. It's just that some channels have more. So check this out. And I'm not going to go, I'll go over this later on this week, but there is, if you understand like marketing, or if you've read certain books around copywriting, there is this thing that there is a certain level of market sophistication. That means that a market gets to a point where they're tired of seeing a message. But what I've seen is that it's actually relevant on the channel that you're using to outreach them on. So if you go find a brand owner on Facebook and you send them an email, the response rate or any conversion rates are completely different, because the expectations on all the different channels are not the same. They're used to getting pitched on emails. So when you go find them on Facebook, they're like, whoa, what's this? What's going on, right? So, but to be honest, to answer your question, I think LinkedIn works. I think Instagram works. I think Facebook works. I think email works. It's just that some work better than others. But I'll be going over later this week on how to use them.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank
Awesome
you.
idea about it.
Cool. Kane, you want to go next?
Yo, what's up, man?
What's up, bro?
So yeah, I just wanted to ask, like, so when you were looking to like transition from being an agency owner to a consultant,
Yeah.
what was there a point or like a revenue number that you felt like you had to hit before you were like qualified to teach people? Or like,
Yeah.
what was the point when you felt like you were qualified to teach others how to do, like, how to run a successful agency?
I'll answer your question indirectly. I didn't transition because I thought I was qualified to teach. I transitioned because I realized that I could help more people doing this. And I realized that a lot of the agency owners that I'm helping are broke. And I'm tired of losing customers every 2 months, not because we're not doing a great service, but because they can't afford our service. So now my thought process was like, okay, these guys will not succeed after only having worked a month or 2 months with me. So, and most of these gurus don't really care about that. All they're just trying to do is they're just trying to sell you a course. So the reason why I pivoted was because I realized that, okay, cool, I can't do done for you work long enough because they don't have the capital to pay me. So now what if I built the systems in-house and I teach you how to do it, but I actually build it for you. And I show you how I'm personally spending $250 per month on a virtual assistant to get you the results that you want. So now, yes, you pay a specific fee to become a customer, but the stuff that I show you and that I build you in-house only costs you $250 to sustain over a long while. So I didn't do it because I felt like, you know, a lot, if you're thinking of like, oh, am I ready or not ready to teach people or to build stuff for people, then it's just that you're not ready. Plus, I was, you know, you don't need, if you've made, you know, it's not relevant to how much money you've made. And of course, I also have this disdain of people just trying to teach stuff that they've not done themselves yet. But for me, I've never taught something that I have never done, right? And it's not relevant to how much money you make. It's just, are you good at it? And for me, I thought I was pretty good at outbound prospecting and booking meetings. And then I got good with offers because I saw some success pretty fast. And now that's how I made my decision. It wasn't relevant to how much money. Because if that was the case, then nobody should go to school. Because why would you go to learn from a teacher who's never even run a single business? It doesn't mean that just because they haven't run a business that they can't teach you, but it's just proof that just learning it will not actually get you the outcome. Just like the teacher is good at the thing that he's teaching you, but he's not running $1 billion company. So there's nuances, and you have to be aware that just because you're learning doesn't mean you're going to get the thing. So that's it essentially.
Okay. Just quickly relevant to the challenge, like some of the calls this week, I know I'm going to miss because of the timings and stuff. Is there going to be a way to access the recordings later or not?
We're definitely going to be recording them. We haven't yet. I haven't yet made a decision on what we'll do with the recordings, but like they will be available for sure.
Okay.
Depending on what we decide to do, they will be available though. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right then.
Cool. Perfect. Kushal, are you next?
Hey, Serge, brother.
Hey, my man. How are you?
Yes. So I'm fine, brother. So my question is that how we gonna like a mindset is very important thing, right? You gonna say, but the thing that when we are coming the newly in the field that there was something that every people are doing, then how we can like reach out different from the others. Like when I am from India, when I connect with the peoples within the US, there was something like a barriers, communications barrier come, right?
Yeah.
So how we gonna pass that barrier? Will you share some thoughts on that?
Yeah. Let me. And I've shared the thinking you need to use to get there. So invert. If you feel like the language communication barrier is what will keep you from not getting to your goals, perfect. Remove yourself. Get someone on commission to do the selling. Get someone on commission to, if you can do the outreach yourself, or if you have the capital to incentivize someone to do the work for you, do it, right? You don't need to be the face of the business. You don't need to be the communicator, right? Of course, it puts you at a disadvantage, but it doesn't actually mean that you can't succeed because you're from India. Who cares where you're from, bro? All I care about is, can you give me the outcome that I want? It's not
Okay.
about communication. Because if I showed up tomorrow at your door and did, hey, I can add 50K a month in 24 hours, but I said it in a really bad English, would it matter? And if I showed you proof, would it matter that I don't speak English?
It doesn't matter for now.
Perfect. So now figure out a way to communicate your value and figure out how to really get good at delivery.
Okay.
Let the work talk, let the proof talk. So find proof, find someone to do the selling yourself, right? And then,
Okay.
but stop thinking that of course, I'm not saying that not being able to communicate is not going to be a barrier, but I don't want you to think that that's an actual issue. Hell no. Because that's what keeps people from achieving their dreams. They're just too much in their head. They're not thinking for first principles. What actually gets someone to buy? It's because you're getting them the thing they want faster or at a cheaper rate, at a cheaper price, or without, I'll be talking about how to create value tomorrow. I'll be going over this, but the first principle is I will only buy from you, not because of your English, or your communication. I will buy from you because you're getting me what I want. Focus on that. Right?
It's required. It depends on how you gonna give them result, right? They don't
Exactly.
require your language, right?
Nobody cares about who you are, man. I don't care. I don't care
It's
who you
all
are.
about. It all depends on our mindset. That what we gonna think. It's really happens in that, right,
Yeah.
brother?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Thank you.
Get to work. Get to work.
I get my answer in the proper manner. Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Thank you for your question. Have a beautiful day. Aman, you're next. Also, why don't you have your camera on?
Yo, bro.
How are
Can you
you?
hear me?
Yeah,
Good, man. You?
I'm chilling. How are you? What's your
Bless,
question?
bro. So I have two questions. One is, in your personal experience with outreach to local businesses, I think you've seen my question in the chat, but is evergreen VSL's work, or is personalized the better way to go?
If you're not making 10, 20K a month, go personalized because you have time. You don't have money.
Okay.
Yeah.
But surely I'd have more output if I was doing evergreen to get to 10, 20K a month faster.
Yeah, but what are you worried? What's your main goal? Is it the getting because see, you're focusing on the wrong thing. That's why I'm talking about why thinking is so important. The important thing is getting meetings. The important thing for you is not sending out a lot of volume. Of course, sending out a lot of volume helps with the amount of meetings, but what you need to first figure out here is, are you even able to get people on meetings? That's the first thing that you need to solve. So the easiest way or the best thing to focus on right now is solving that meeting thing. So go personalized, figure out what gets people on a meeting, and then go evergreen. Because for local businesses, the same issues. And yeah, but it's prioritize first, personalized, because that will get people to, you know, want to reciprocate giving because you gave them something actually valuable, right?
Yeah. And that kind of leads me on to my next question. I know it's a bit of a stupid question, but I've been trying to figure out, because obviously Facebook ads and Google ads is quite a generic service that everyone kind of offers nowadays. And of course, to get to 50K a month, 100K a month, you need to have a problem that you're solving for a specific business. So how do you really figure that out? Like what someone's problem is? Because that's the way you make money, right?
Yeah. Tomorrow I'll be talking about how to find problems. So show up tomorrow. But just to quickly go over it, the only way you find out what people are struggling with is talking with them. It's like you will not go on Google, and I mean, you can do market research on Google, but the best way for me to know the best scenario is actually deal with the thing that you're actually trying to solve. Have you felt the pain? Do you know why they actually want it solved, right? So actually being the persona or the avatar that you want to help is the best solution to being able to know what they want, right? And the best next thing is, hey, I'm currently looking to build a solution about this issue. Would you like to spend 15 minutes with me on a call so that I can actually walk you through it? So actually try to give away what you're trying to do and ask them if they'd be willing to pay for it. And people, you know, will get on a call with you. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, this week I'm going to meet some people who are in the industry that I want to target. And so I was just trying to figure out what the best questions to ask would be and how to kind of gauge what they need from me so that I can build an offer around that.
Yeah, do that.
All right, thank you.
Perfect, thank you. Cool. Jonathan, you're next.
Sorry, I had myself muted still. How are you doing?
I'm doing great today, actually.
Great. So I got two quick questions for you. My first question is, are you going to go over your strategy for reaching people organically in future calls?
Yeah, I should be going over it on Wednesday. We're going to be going over the actual channels and messages and stuff like that.
Awesome. And then my next question was on the topic of mindset. Is there like a particular book or anything that you've read that has had more of an impact? Like a reading recommendation?
Yeah, let me think. So one thing that I've started doing is I've started reading less and just listening to podcasts more.
Yeah, me too.
So because I feel like reading is just outdated. It's like an outdated mechanism to actually learn, in my opinion. Yeah, it's inefficient. So one podcast that I would get you guys to start listening to is called Knowledge Project. Oops, I just shared it to Chanel. 1 second, I'll put it in everyone's. Wait 1 second. Everyone in the meeting. Yeah. So check this podcast out, Knowledge Project. It's a lot of different smart people coming on this project, on this podcast. It's not really about mindset specifically, right? but they share a lot of really good insights. But going back on the mindset stuff, the best book I think is Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. That's the only mindset book I would recommend. Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill, and then just listening to actual podcasts about business and mental models and thinking. Because once you actually understand how the world works, you don't need mindset, because it's pure science. It's like if I'm on the 9th floor right now, if I jump outside the window, I'm gonna hurt myself. Okay. So if you understand the different laws that make it unreasonable for you not to get the thing, then why do you need to feel good or be good or feel happy? You don't. You just take a specific step of actions, and it gets you the outcome consistently. So mindset is irrelevant. Of course, it's good to have a good point of view, to be happy and things like that, but spend time understanding what makes everything work instead of trying to focus too much on mindset. A lot of people focus on mindset because, yeah, exactly. It's like just focus on the cause and effects. Mindset is just mindset. Everybody, one thing that I've realized from achieving, some of my goals is that I'm not any better or any happier than I was when I was making 30K a year or at my 9 to 5. Of course, there is some highs and lows. Sometimes I feel good, sometimes I make a lot of money, but I'm not in a different mindset. I just think success just gives you more confidence in yourself, which is why you go on to do more stuff. But mindset never really changes as there's no exponential growth in mindset. It's still the same shit.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you for the question. Patrick, you're next.
Hey, Serge.
Hey,
First
man.
of all, thanks a lot for all the value that you're providing us with today. I have actually 2 questions. There are probably more questions coming up as we go in the challenge this week. But my major question is, are you also going to talk about copywriting, objection handling in that sense in the challenge as we go from here?
I didn't include objection handling because the way we do acquisition is we try to handle objections before people actually get on a call.
Right.
So I can include some of that. I can show you guys what we do for our own offers. But what I will do is instead, I'll actually try to show you guys how to build acquisition systems that remove all objections even before a prospect ever gets on a call with you, so that you're not stuck selling stuff, people forcing your services on people.
All right.
So yeah.
Got it. And another question, you already mentioned it or partly answered that question, implementing systems, at what point or what degree were you implementing systems into your own business, in your agency, like delegating people, having people who actually do the work for you so you can really work on the business, but not inside the business?
Is your question when or how much am I doing it?
At what point did you outsource certain points, to appointment setters or VAs and whatnot, so that you can really work on the system?
Yeah. I think there are 2 answers to this, and it depends on each person's situation. So if you're at a specific state where you have access to capital, then I would tell you to do it yesterday. Why? Because if you actually did it yesterday, then you get to see the results you want much faster, because the actual systems make it more consistent, which means that instead of trying to do certain stuff and then trying to save money and trying to just delegate a few stuff that are really boring, just delegate everything. Because if you look at how big businesses do, if you look at Facebook's growth or Amazon's growth, Amazon I think they did 14 million or 100 million in their second year or in their first year. But how did they do it? They just built systems from day one. So you have two options. If you have more time than money right now, then focus on just delegating the most important things, which could be consistent attention. I think this is so crucial, guys. So important. Every single day, someone here should get 100 messages sent out to people. Okay. That's like, if you're running a business online and you're not getting attention every single day, then no, please stop that. Right. But if you're on the other side, if you have access to capital, then I would systematize it right now, because that system will automatically make it unreasonable for you not to get the thing that you want, which is, scaling and growing. But at first I delegated outreach. So outreach on Facebook, it wasn't consistent. And then I delegated managing the team. Well, not managing the team, because I ran 2 businesses last year, right? Appointment setting. So from that, I delegated outreach. I was still doing some outreach and creating content. And then I got Reg to be in a manager like position. She managed the team, the VAs. And then from there, I went ahead and delegated more outreach. And then when I started this consultancy, but everything that I've always delegated first is appointment setting and just outreach. And outreach is the most thing that I've always outreach first or automated first.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Good.
But yeah, I'm not sure if it answers your question though. Maybe you can.
It does. Actually, exactly the things or the stuff that I'm currently implementing, because I have the whole system in place, but what first steps to do first and what after, that was basically the question, but you answered my question. So thanks a lot for that.
Awesome. Beautiful. Yeah, cool. Yeah, anybody had any other question? Yeah, let me see. Cool. Yeah, Tevin raised his hand. Reg, you want to let him speak? Oh, we have a form. Oh, I think they created a form for some of your questions, so I can go through it. But Tevin, you can speak right now. I think you should be good.
Cool. Thank you. First of all, thank you very much for the call. It is very useful. I just wanted to ask you regarding the industry. I can see that a lot of people are in e-com, and I understand that Instagram would be a good platform for outreach. What about the SaaS industry? Would Instagram also work for that, for those industries like SaaS industries, training companies?
Yeah, I mean, I'll talk about Instagram and everything like that, but I probably think there are more SaaS Instagram profiles than there are on any other platform combined. So yes, it would work.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Instagram works for everyone here. Most of you guys spend more time on Instagram than on anything else. So you best be sure that some of these other companies are also on there. Cool. Prithvi, you want to go ahead and ask your question?
Yeah, so regarding like using VAs for appointments, if you've not gotten your sales process, like how you're doing outreach with a definite data about definite success rates, how do you go about? Am I audible? Sorry.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
No, I can hear you.
Oh yeah. So I don't have I can't really bring in VAs with a definite sales process. I'm still working on something that's like at least getting conversions at like 5-10%. But
yeah. I think he just quit. So someone just asked, how do you deal with the hate you get online, especially in the coaching space? I look at my bank account. That's enough for as much hate as I get, I also get rich. So, but no, I'm joking. No, I think it's just you have to understand people. I think I don't know who said this, but like you have to be aware that people want you to do better, but not better than them. So automatically, people will always hate, and you guys probably also hate too. I think I hate too, right? So so yeah, I just natural. It's just a natural instinct to hate. So I can't feel bad about people hating me. So all I just do is I just do it from, I do what I do, not because I need approval from others. I do it because that's my purpose in life. So I don't really care about what others people think. And I'm living my life. I'm living my dream. So who cares what someone is thinking, someone who's not even paying their rent. It's like, okay, cool, bro. Bro, now your old students started copying and selling your course material. What do you want to say about that? Well, I copied some of Sam Oven's stuff. I copied some of Nick Cosman's stuff. So I'm happy that people actually get to copy my shit. What people do has more to do with themselves than anything. Exactly. Yeah, it has nothing to do with me. If you hate me, then it's not me you hate. I don't hate myself. So maybe you should. Let me go over some of these questions. Maybe you guys can ask some questions after that. Is 50K a month possible with done for you model? Of course, guys. Think from first principles. What actually gets you to 50K per month is just by selling stuff that people want. Is it possible to sell done for you service to enough people for you to make 50K per month? Yes, therefore it's possible. Do you think your program is too advanced for someone that hasn't started yet? So I know a lot of people on this call are not, making 10, 20K, 50K per month. Okay, it's totally fine. And it's because that's society. There's more people not making 500K a year or even 6 figures per year than there are, who are making it. So I know that most of society is not making a lot of money, right? But the way that we try to counter this thing within our program, because we have people who come in and they literally have 0 customers. Maybe they understand a bit of what they're trying to do. The way that I try to counter this issue is if you come in the program and I see that you know nothing about sales or you know nothing about copywriting, then what I will do is I'll look at some of the courses that I have access to and I'll just give you access to them. So if you need mindset shifts, then I'll be like, yo, mindset in Sam Melvin's course is insane. So I'll give you access to Sam Melvin's course. If you're struggling with, if you're struggling with some, let's say you're going the SaaS industry and you're like, yo, I don't know how to sell them. Okay, I'll be like, well, Nick Cosmans has a problem that, a program that goes on to how to scale SaaS businesses. So I'll be like, hey, check this out. You can take some really beneficial stuff from this course. So if I can't provide you something, I'll find you assets and I'll find you stuff that can actually answer your problems. So when people access the $500,000 program, they actually get access to more stuff than just my insight, right? You get to get access to stuff from Nick Cosman, Sam Ovens, Iman. A lot of people keep asking me like, hey, Serge, why do you teach agency stuff when you've never run an agency? Because I'm like, I don't care about running an agency. Go out there. There's a $500 course that you can learn from agency. You can learn from Kai Bax. We'll give you access to Kai Bax's course, right? I don't who it's bullshit, right? So that's how we do it. For me, I just want to focus on acquisition and really how to help you scale on the back end. Is there a schedule with the topics you will go through on each day of this challenge? I'll be able to. I think I'll make a schedule for. I'll share it in the group, right? How many numbers of Instagram DM do you think is reasonable per day? I don't think reasonable is the right question. I just think you should ask yourself how many DMs can you make without dying? That's the right thing to do. So if you can do 500 a day, please do a 500 blast a day. But 50 to 100 is good to make sure you're good. FB media buyer is really good investment. Yeah, because if he's really good, then he can help your company deliver for your customers. Will you send over the doc, the one that I'm working from? This one? Yes, it will be given access to, because the way that I want to do is I will actually create like a product from this live, and then we'll have all the assets in there. So if you want to access the alchemy of self, if you want to access these docs that I'm creating and everything like that, then you'll get to access it once we've productized it and actually shared it online. Because right now we can't share it one by one. It's too little. What's our to-do list for now? To-do list for now, after reviewing what you guys need to, I think the thing you need to focus on right now is working on your, let me actually show you real quick. I think you guys need to make sure you know what you guys want, so your dream life. And you also need to focus on building your new character, right? So how would you describe the new version of you necessary to effortlessly achieve all your dreams? What skills and strengths does this new character need to have in order to effortlessly execute on your dream to achieve it with ease? List them all. What strengths does this new character have? So actually answer all these questions, okay? And then once you're good on everything like that, then I would suggest that you come here and you write your goals. So if your goal is to get to 50K per month, I want you to come here and invert and think of how many ways you could keep yourself from not achieving 50K per month, and write down all those points and simply stay away from it, okay? So make sure you build a character, make sure you invert on your goal, right? And then think of your environment, right? Ask yourself, what's an environment? Is my, the person that I'm with in a relationship, is my mother, is my parents bothering me? Are my brothers bothering me? Are they inviting me to go drink every weekend instead of actually, making some sales? Then literally remove everything that keeps you from not being in your best state, okay? Because I think that once you know who you need to become, once you know what could keep you from not getting to your goals, and once you have built an environment where it's actually much easier for you to do the right things than to do the wrong things, then you get to win automatically, right? And that's how you become a shark. You get clear on what a shark is. You get clear on what could keep you from not being a shark and from not building the business of your life, the best business in your life. And then you also organize your environment. And if you're not in a good environment and you lack an environment of people who are actually getting after it, then please join our program, right? I don't want to use this as a sales pitch for my program. I don't really need it. But like, if you guys want to spend time with me, every day, we literally have like 5-6 calls a week, and we're also building, one of the best program, and we do the work for you, right? So join our stuff. Is it true that your stuff costs 10 grand? I've been waiting to book a call, but it does cost 10K. That's way out of my reach. So I'll definitely be willing to purchase in a couple of months. We have payment plans. We give out, actually, man, I'm so sorry. I'm so bad at selling. So check this out. Anyone who's joining this event and who joins the next 5 days, everybody will get a $4,000 discount on the program. So that means that instead of it being 10K, it's 6 grand. Hopefully that's not out of your reach. We can offer you a payment plan. So, I know a lot of people, we started with like almost 100 people, now we're 51. But if you want to become a customer and just get everything built out for you, you get a 4K discount, and let's get to work. Okay. So I won't spend too much time on it. For whoever wants it, can get it. It's not really a big deal. Do you think influencer marketing is a good sub niche under e-com instead of doing paid ad? Yes, because it's organic marketing. So it's definitely efficient because they already have the audience. And that's essentially how I've grown, right? So check this out. That's essentially how I've grown. Most of you guys probably already know Iman, Kybox, and things like that. So what I did was I'll be talking about how to leverage other people's audiences later on, but I just simply leverage Iman's audience. I leverage Kybox's audience because I can offer a better solution. I can offer a better mechanism. Instead of just selling a course, well, I'll be showing you guys later on how we've built our offer, but I've just built something better. And instead of me going on paid ads and spending 6 figures to sell a course, all I did was buy Iman Gaji's course, which is like $1,000, or Kybox is like 600. And I just told everyone in his program that, hey, I can actually help you get a better outcome. So yes, they spend a lot of money on ads, but I just spent $600 for it. So win-win, baby. So can the payment plan be applied to 4K discount? Yeah, if you don't have access to capital, a lot of capital, then yeah, I'd be happy to offer you a payment plan. Of course, it's not going to be like a crazy 10-month payment plan, but the way that we've built the program is that you get in, we help you out, and we try to get you results fast so that you can actually afford the other payments for the program, right? So payment plan, make it easier for you to get in, get the right systems that make it unreasonable for you not to build the business that you want. And then if you build the business that you want, you can effortlessly afford the program. So that's that. Any last questions? Yeah, this lasted like 2 hours and 15 minutes. So, but it's good. I don't mind spending time. But guys, can you guys put yourselves on camera? God damn. I mean, I like your names. It's great, but show your face, guys. God damn. Because you guys need to get comfortable showing your faces, guys. This is business. You can't hide your pretty face all your time. Like, how can I give you 10 grand if I don't know your face, bro? Please, right? You know, a lot of success, especially now in 2021. One of the biggest thing, which I'll cover tomorrow, if you don't build a brand, you're getting eaten. You're not going to win because everybody can offer appointment setting. Do you know how many people are competing with me or that I'm competing with? Hundreds, if not thousands, right? But I'm probably doing, anyone who's doing more than me is because they have a bigger brand than I. It's not because they have a better mechanism. It's not because their copywriting is better. Hell no. It's either they are known more than I am, or they just have a better structure, a delivery process that makes it easier for them to flow through people. But branding, guys, put your face out there because nobody can be me as much as me. So that's a competitive edge that I can't really beat. So, so guys, put your face in front of people. It's hard, but it's good. If you put yourself in front of people, start putting out content, you're gonna beat everyone. Thank you guys for everyone who joined. If you guys want to, get access to or learn about the discount and for the $500,000 program, then let me know and I'll just shoot you a link to actually book a call. Actually, let me know if you need the link and I'll shoot you the link in the actual chat. Whoever needs a link to book a call, let me know and then I'll just shoot you something. Thank you guys for everything. And tomorrow we'll be talking about offers, and we're going to be talking about how to find the right sub niche for you and how to actually communicate the thing that you sell so that it actually makes more people want it. Okay. 11 a.m. Eastern tomorrow. Let's make sure that you show up, guys. Let's get to work. Love you all. Have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.